thought either I could leave tomorrow morning, like 5 in the morning, or I could do an event before I got here. So I said I'd do an event. Why not? Hi, everybody. I'm here. Yes, guys, thank you so much. I'm here in AC Hoyt Hardware in Edmeston, New York. You can clap if you want to. So what I wanted to bring up, and I was talking about the idea of education, and the piece that really bothers me about education is right now, seeing it now, everyone's talking about the college loan forgiveness. The biggest issue no one's talking about is the college system itself. That's the scam, is the college system itself. And in New York State, we have a bigger problem, and that is we are forcing our kids to go to college. I'm not saying I'm against college. College is great if you want to go, absolutely. But we're forcing our kids to go to college. And so what's happening? A bunch of kids who probably should be in the trades aren't going in the trades. You might go, why does that matter? Because the average tradesman in New York State is over 50. That's a problem. I'm not against my 50-year-olds. I'm over 50 myself. So good. But that should not be the average. The average should be about 30. Maybe 35 should be our average. And the average is over 50. That's a problem. The next thing is, the guy who's over 50 now, he's got a hammer in his hand. That's a problem. He should be showing the other guys where to hammer, right? But he's got the hammer in his hand. And then the last problem we have with that is we don't have enough labor. What are we doing? We're bringing in foreign labor because we don't have our own kids who are doing it. So we're bringing in foreign labor. So we're bringing in foreign labor while our kids don't work. Guy who's 50 who should be actually showing people still doing it. This is a problem. Here, it keeps popping up. How are you? Hi. Good. This is a problem. Why is it happening? When I was a kid, we had BOCES. We still have BOCES here. But BOCES wasn't a bad thing. BOCES was a common thing. Lots of kids went to BOCES. Lots of kids got trades. That was the thing. Now, try to find a guidance counselor who will tell your kid to go to BOCES. Try to find one. No, what will they tell you? Oh, BOCES, that's for the dumb kids. That's for the problem kids. That's for the dumb kid. Well, I know kids who went to BOCES who are 24 years old who make at least $70,000 a year and no college debt, if not more than that. I know lots of college kids who went to school, took them 6 years to graduate. They got a degree in something or other. They work at Starbucks and $100,000 in debt. Which one's the dumb one again? Doesn't seem clear to me. Doesn't seem clear to me at all. Well, why would we do that? What you talked about earlier. Money. Money is the issue. Why? These schools are given money because of the percentage of kids who they put into college. That's how they're rewarded by the state, by the federal government. So cash. Not just that, they literally hire people, administrators, in the schools to make sure the kids are going to college, to help kids go to college. That's the issue. Since when is high school's goal to get you into college? That should not be high school's goal. You should decide if you want to go or your kid to go. Not just that, why is college for someone who's 18? I know lots of people go to college at 30, 40, 50, whenever they want. You should go to college whenever you think it's right for your career, whatever that is. If you're a youngster right now, the odds are you're going to have 5 careers. That's you, 5 careers. Not 5 jobs, 5 careers. You're probably going to work into your 70s. Why? Because you're going to be healthy enough and you're going to want extra cash. So if you're a youngster now, you're probably going to have 5 careers and work into your 70s. So why is college for when you're 18? College should be for whenever. But I'll go, say again?
I think every kid should be made to work in the real world for at least 2 years.
I love that idea. That's what I did. I joined the Marine Corps at 17. I didn't go to college until I was 21. I completely agree. Yes, it was the right thing for me. By the way, I was a terrible high school student. And I mean terrible. I wouldn't even graduate high school. I dropped out of high school at 16 to go get a job. I worked in I worked in a beer distribution place back in the early 80s. That's where I worked. Literally sorting colored bottles, the blue, the brown, and the green and the clear bottles in the beer distribution place. What I did, and I went to join the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps recruiter told me, he said, if you get a high school diploma, you'll get a guaranteed job. Otherwise, you get whatever we tell you. I said, all right. I went back to high school. That's why I graduated high school. I graduated with all D's. D's gets degrees. So that's how I did. And I was a terrible high school student. No doubt. Anyone who knows me in high school knows that. My wife, by the way, knew me in high school. A little off story, then I'll come back. My wife, who I'm now married to, we're together 22 years, married 21. I met my wife in high school. I was 17, she was 16. I thought she was the greatest thing in the world. She thought I was some guy, a D student, some guy who was going nowhere. Yeah, and she was kind of right. But anyway, so she didn't want to date me. She didn't really want to go out with me. I chased her for a while. She didn't want to go out with me. So I joined the Marine Corps. She's smart. She goes to college year behind me. I'm off the Marine Corps. I'm literally sending her gifts. I send her gifts from overseas and writing her letters. The letters, you know, those things were. Yes, sending her letters, all those things, right? She's not interested. She tells me, hey, I'm in love with some guy in college. I think I've lost it. 10 years later, we have multiple friends from high school. Someone sends a joke through email back in AOL days. So you guys know what AOL is? Yes? An AOL
Still
joke,
on
right? Yes.
Messenger every morning.
You still on AOL? Yes, some people still are, yes. And all the email addresses are there. She sees my email address and she says, hey, is this Larry Sharpe from high school? And I responded, yes, when are we going out? A week later, we went out, and a year later, we were married. True story. So yes, I was a knucklehead in high school. That's what it all went down to what you were saying. I was a knucklehead in high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? I wanted to be a Marine. That was it. So I was. But when I went to college at 21, I was a full-time Marine and a full-time student, and I had a 3.7 GPA, which is amazing when you're a full-time Marine. Why? Because when I was 21, I wanted to go to college. It's what I wanted to do. And when you want to do something, you're better at it. That's kind of how it works, human beings, right? You don't want to do it, you're bad at it. You want to do it, you're good at it. That's kind of how it works. And I wanted to do it. I didn't want to go to high school, so I sucked at it. I wanted to go to college, so I was good at it. It's that simple. So you are completely correct. So with my K through 10 fund that I brought earlier, that actually allows kids at 10th grade to actually decide to do many different things. When I came out of the Marine Corps, I had what was called the GI Bill. Some of you might know what that is. I had a certain amount of money, and I think I had 10 years to use it. I'm going to give all of our students at 16, if they pass a test, they get a high school diploma, they get $20,000, 5 years to use it. Good luck. I'm not joking. What should you do? 2 years school if you want to. You say, you know what? I'm a college kid. I want to go to college. I'm all about college. Awesome. Go to a 2-year prep school and be ready for school. Right now, our kids who are going into school, and if any of you are young enough to know this, the first year of college is 13th grade because the kids are not ready for it. Why? Because the last 2 years of high school is gym and study hall, smoking weed, and video games. So yeah,
I had a couple art classes.
and some art classes. There we go. So of course you're not ready for college. Of course you're not. Well, go to a 2-year prep school and you're ready for college. The average kid takes 6 years to graduate. If you go to a prep school, maybe 3 years to graduate. So now you're out faster, right? You're out faster, which is great. Less debt, out faster. Win-win. You say, you know what, Larry, I don't know if I want to go to school. Awesome. Don't go to prep school. Instead, go to trade school. Go to 2-year trade school. So depending on what trade you get, you're either ready to go once you're 18 or ready to start your apprenticeship, depending on what trade you go into. But you're ready to go. You can start making money at 18. Isn't that a good thing? You're ready to rock and roll. You don't want to do that? No worries. You're the super smart kid. You're the kid, you're going to be a scientist, you're going to be a doctor. Awesome. Go get an associate's degree now. Why be bored in high school? Go get your associate's degree right now. That's the kid you want. You love testing, you love science. Go do that. I don't want any of those things. Awesome. Go get a job. Go to work.
Well,
whatever. Yes.
you'll be okay.
What I hear all the time from people who are hiring, and you hire people too, right? The same thing all the time. Larry, I don't care about education. I'll hire anybody with a work ethic. And all the time.
Any day of the week.
There we go.
I own my own business.
Anybody with a work ethic, right? So
Anybody.
why are we shocked when we've taught our kids to do what you're told until they're 18, then go back to college, do what they're told till they're 24, never had a job, and they show up in the workforce and have the work ethic? Why are we surprised? But imagine if they were 16. You go to work. You know what you'll learn? You'll learn that when your boss says show up at 8, she means 7:45, not 10:30.
Okay.
That's what she means when she says show up at 8. She means 7:45, not 10:30. They don't know that. Let me get fired from a job or two at 16. Oh, that's how that works. Yeah, that's how that works. So by the time you're 18, 19, 20, you know what work is. You get it. You can do it. And you also might find out something else. You might not like it, or you might love it. You might love it. And if you love it, why would you go to college? You love working. Or if you hate it, get your butt in college. Right? Whichever. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to try to make you happy. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. No one talks about that. I do. That's an important aspect. So I agree with you completely. Totally. The pushback I get all the time is, Larry, these kids are 16. They're going to make mistakes. Yes.
Good.
Yes. The price for failure at 16 is nothing compared to 26.
No.
Nothing compared to 26. Nothing. Let them fail at 16. Mom and dad are still here. It's
Okay.
fine. It's fine. Made a mistake. I'm giving you 5 years. It's fine. Here's what I'm also sure of. Guess how much all these 3-year schools will cost?
Price is about to go up.
They'll cost $20,000. Do you know why? That's the credit. $20,000. That's what they'll cost. $20,000. That's every single time. That's 100% of the time. If the price is $20,000 the government's going to give you, that's how much it costs. We spend $29,000 per kid per year in New York State, the highest in the entire country. And we always rank less than 30th throughout 50 states. It's 51 because they count DC with these stats. So it's 51 counting DC. Last time I checked, we came in at 42nd. When it came to early education, we came in 44.
$31 billion. at this budget.
Bingo. Yes. The most in the nation.
Put that kind of money into the private sector. Inject competition.
Yep.
Like charter school, basically a charter school scenario.
Just let me keep it.
I'll do good stuff with it.
I said that for years. that
Yep.
You gotta stop making education political football in New York
100%.
State. Because you see the downstate contingent, the high rent districts down there with their clout, fighting the
Absolutely.
people in upstate, trying to find out about aid
Yep.
and the reduced lunch,
Absolutely.
all this free reduced lunch, and all these equations, and the school aid formula, which is purposely made so complicated.
No one knows what
No
it is.
one knows.
Correct.
No one knows about it.
You're right.
It's just like price of milk. But they've made this. They've embedded all these complications and these special interests in this $31 billion.
Absolutely. So could you imagine if you just got $18,000 for the district period?
it.
All goes away. All those administrators you have there, half of them can go away. The average teacher across this state makes about $70,000 to $80,000 a year. The average administrator makes $150,000. Some make $200,000 or $300,000 a year as administrator. They don't even work with kids. They don't work with kids. There are districts in this state where there are more administrators than teachers.
Meanwhile, there's a teacher.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you ask teachers why they leave.
I don't think
Bureaucracy. That's why they
I
left.
don't think there's a teacher shortage per se. I think there's a shortage of teachers.
That's correct. Yes. Why would you? And I don't mean to be mean, but if you're a teacher, particularly in New York State, you bust your rump to become a teacher. You jump through hoops. You got to get these credentials. You got to get a master's degree. You go all nuts to get this. Then you show up in a classroom and 3 administrators tell you what to do. Well, why'd you jump through all the hoops then? If you're going to have an administrator tell you what to do, just hire high school graduates. They're just doing what you're told. So who cares then? So either let teachers teach or don't hire experienced teachers. Either one makes sense. But why would you hire experienced teachers and tell them what to do? By people who haven't taught. Whenever you hear people say, I'm an educator, that means they don't teach. Teachers say, I'm a teacher. Educators are full of crap.
Yeah.
Right? I talk to educators. You talk to nobodies. Yes, correct. Let teachers teach. It's a much better plan. So when I'm a little off, I apologize, but I want to talk about the trades in general. If we spend more time allowing our kids to go into trades, more people will open up businesses, more people will stay here. Our biggest issue is people leaving the state. That's our biggest issue, is leaving the state over anything else.
And the governor wants to get rid of 5.4 million more Republicans.
Yes.
She told them to get on buses.
Absolutely.
Go to Florida.
Florida, go away, exactly. But look, I'll be very forward. Cuomo said that in 2014.
He said you're conservative, you don't belong.
You don't get no space for you in New York State if you're conservative, is what he said. Yes, that's correct. Yes. And what price did he pay? None. And what price will Hochul pay? None. And the reason is, and this will make some of you unhappy, I'm going to be very forward with you all, as I always am. The Republican Party in a statewide election has no chance of victory. None. Locally, they win all the time. Local Republicans win all the time. If you have a nice local Republican you like, please vote for your local Republican. No worries. Please enjoy. Statewide, there's zero chance of victory. It was a lie 20 years ago, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and today. It's been a lie for 20 years. 10 cycles in a row, it's been a lie. There has not been a Republican who's won a statewide election in this state in 20 years. The last one was Pataki. if you can call them a Republican.
I was just gonna say, like,
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
can call them
let's just
Republican.
say that was the beginning of the end
Yeah.
for the Republican Party
Correct.
in New York State. With all due respect to you, John,
No, no,
I wanna
no.
be honest,
Local,
I don't
there are a lot of
I
good
know you
local
are.
Republicans
You're
who
a good
actually
guy.
can win.
You're a good guy.
I'm saying I'm being realistic here. The state is almost 3-1 Democrats Republican. New York City 6-1 Democrats Republican. The only way we make any change is creating a coalition against the establishment. That is the only way we create change. That's it. The only way. Yes, it is the only way. Now, coalition is tough. I didn't say compromise. I said coalition, meaning looking at the issues that matter and getting together with individual parties that agree on those issues to push a specific issue forward that matters to people. And the only type of party that can do that is a party that respects everybody. There are lots of people who think I'm not liberal enough for them. Lots of them. But they still follow me because they know I respect them. Lots of people think I'm not conservative enough for them. But they still are okay with me. Why? Because I respect them. I respect everyone to be as liberal or as conservative as you want to be. I don't mind. You know, people in Brooklyn say Brooklyn's a blood type. Awesome. Enjoy Brooklyn. You live there because you love it. That's the kind of lifestyle you want. Good for you. Enjoy it. People who live in Suffolk County might think a little bit different. And that's fine. Let them enjoy that. That's your lifestyle. You want to be there. Do you? And if we have more of that, this state can survive. This state can actually move forward. But if our goal is, let's push my view on all of you, it is not going to work.
That is the singular problem.
Correct. And to your point, they're just going to walk away and leave. Right, to your point. You're totally correct. Right? You look at Florida. Florida used to be a swing state. Not anymore. They're red. Why? All our Republicans are down there. I'm not joking. Yes, there's at least 500,000 New York Republicans down there now that came out of our state or that they're now. At least.
In the last year.
I don't know about that, but yes. But yes, I don't mind. Yes.
Since 2019, they said close to half.
Yes.
400 something.
400
46,000 since.
Yes. They're packing them living left and
But
right.
during the height of the pandemic, there was a wave that literally flooded out. the
Yes,
state.
100%. So that is our biggest issue. We have to create a coalition to keep people here. Trades are part. There's so many things I talk about, but trades are part of it. Yes, they're part of it. If we can keep more people here working, the better. How do we fix that? A couple things. I bring this up often, but I want to make sure it lands. That's one. Yes, the education policy. Right. That's it. Correct. But I have to go further. If you decide that you want to open a small business in New York State and you agree that you will only sell within New York State, you should be immune from all federal regulatory bodies. What does that do? If you are a business in New York State and you agree to sell only within New York State, you'll be immune from all federal regulatory bodies. What does that do? That's already done. But Wyoming does it with their farmers already. This is already being done. Wyoming, if you're a Wyoming farmer, why does that matter? You want to sell raw milk? You can. Up to you. Right? You want to not have to use the top 3 or 4 slaughterhouses in the country? You don't have to, you don't want to. No worries. As long as you are transparent and you tell your populace, I am not following federal guidelines. If your community is okay with that, let them buy from you. If they don't, that's okay too. Not just that. What do you find around most of these small towns? Franchises. Only franchises. I don't mind franchises. They're nice. They're good. But also, everyday people buying up stores. Have a store. It's all good too. Right?
What about,
Go ahead,
what
please.
about adding into the educational component of this? Entrepreneurial type class. I mean, look, I own 4 businesses.
Yep.
And I had to learn how to do it,
100%.
soften it out, right?
Yep.
But I have poured into and
Mhm.
mentored 23 different individuals who own 2 businesses.
100%.
And it's one doing the other. So how do you incentivize that in turn? You're going to do that. In other words, I get it with the trades and I get it
Yep.
with the education component.
Yep.
But I mean, I grew up in a day when the earth was still flat, and we still had business classes in school. And
Yep.
we taught how do you manage.
I'm going to give you 2 parts of that. You got some gray hair like me, so I'm going to guess you went to school when you were in school was before 1980. Is that correct?
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Why do I use that phrase 1980? Because 1980 is when the federal Department of Education actually gained some teeth.
Yeah.
Prior to that, it really had no teeth. It was kind of a repository for information. It didn't do anything. But in 1980s, when it began to have power, somehow before 1980, we all learned how to read and write, didn't we?
Yeah.
We somehow learned how to function in the world without a federal Department of Education. Now, for some reason, it feels like we can't survive without it. Yet, if you were to look at education in 1980 today, would anyone say it's better? Of course not. No one would say it's better. Yet we've had more and more federal control. More and more federal control. Yet I don't think anybody would say it's better. So what are we doing? More federal control. Why do we not have those classes? I'll tell you why. They aren't on the test. Standardized testing is how the federal government gives money to schools. What's on the test? ELA and math. So what do we study? What do we push? ELA and math. What do teachers always teach? ELA and math. If you've been to school, you might know this. They will sometimes actually tell teachers, don't do other classes. Take time out and instead push on the ELA or the math so we can get higher scores. So you've been in school, this actually happened. So you're supposed to go to health class. They go, no. This week, no health class. Put the kids in extra ELA or extra math. I don't have time for business. I don't have time for civics. I don't have time for any classes. I got to get my money. I need my money, which is on that test. So the reason why I want to give money specifically from the NIST, as I talked about, is because then federal monies go away. When federal monies go away, federal strings go away. There's no longer a need for us to do standardized testing except for actual high school diploma. That's it. Not required anymore. What are you going to do? Get mad at us, not give us money? I'm not taking your money. Last I checked, federal funds were about $6 billion per year. All goes away, though. All those administrators all go away. Don't need them anymore. So that's number one. But number two, your point's a valid one. What should be happening in this state, and again, I didn't go deep because someone asked, but I'll go now because you asked. What should be happening in this state? Up until 6th grade, elementary school, you should know how to basically survive as a human being. You should know basic math, basic reading, you should be able to survive as a human being after elementary school. That's how it used to be. So in elementary school, you can survive. You can read, you can write, you can do basic math, you can make change at a store, you can survive. You can do basic stuff. Right? Now we have high schools can't do that. But that's what should happen in elementary school. Junior high school, you should start learning what you talked about. Junior high school. I'm not talking high school. Learn what credit is. Learn the things that you'll need to survive. What we never learn in school? Basic contract law.
Yeah.
Yet the second you click that terms, you just signed a contract. Every kid signed a contract at 13 years old when they got on whatever, TikTok or Facebook, whatever's the cool thing of the day. Right? Everyone does it. We don't learn basic contract law. Why can't you teach that in high school? That's what we should be teaching. Junior high school begins that, and then now high school, how to survive as an adult. Meaning, am I going to start working? Am I going to start investing? Am I going to start a business? All that should start happening in the first 2 years of high school.
So you talked about, because again, I mean, there's a lot of people go to college for their business degree.
Yep.
And most of those people, I don't even bother hiring.
Correct.
They're freaking idiots. And so for me, I mean, are you talking about partnering with small businesses, maybe with the SBA, and creating some type of a?
Did you just say for me to partner with the government?
No.
Okay, don't insult me, please. Don't insult me. Yes.
Small business. Because let's face it.
Let me tell you what's going to happen. Let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm 100% sure of this. The second you get $20,000 to go to a school, businesses will use those schools as literally farm teams for their own businesses. Of course they will. Of course they will. Why wouldn't they? You can start a school. That's what, by the way, what I do for a living shouldn't make sense. You know what I do most of my time? I train executives. That's what I do most of the time. Most of my money is spent on training executives. They have business degrees. Why should I be training them? That's exactly right. Yes. That's the reason why. My job should not exist. My job should not exist. Yes. Shouldn't exist, but it does.
30 years ago, businesses actually hired right out of the vocations.
Absolutely, yes. And that's what they should do. Exactly.
I did it.
Yes, of course you would. That's my point. I just mentioned it. You're like, yeah, oh my God, because that's what would happen.
So you have companies like
So your
Raymond
plan is
down in
basically
Green. They're paying between Bainbridge, Sydney, and another school. They're giving the school money to
Yep.
keep welding booths open. And if you pass the test, they start you out $20 an hour, 40
Bingo.
hours a week. Get in the
100%.
booth and do the thing.
Exactly right. So that will happen naturally. I think you're completely correct. But once a governor starts talking about what actually makes sense, once we take off the shackles of the federal government, that will happen naturally. You'll have people put civics back in, home ec. You'll have them put Sharpe back in. Those things aren't there because there's no money in it. That stuff will come right back into schools, right? Once you remove the money aspect, things will change. Now local communities will have more control. You want that? Go to your school board, say it. It'll be in the curriculum. Literally, it'll be in the curriculum, right? What if you want to have farming in your curriculum? Go do it. Why not? What? Sorry?
Should be.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. The thing is, what you won't hear me say, and there's a difference between what people say, Larry, what's the difference between a libertarian and a progressive, or a libertarian and a conservative? Is that I'm not going to enforce my will upon you. I'm just going to make sure no one else can enforce will upon you.
Amen.
That's what I'm going to do. That's the difference, right? That's the big difference. Did I answer your question at least?
Yeah, you did.
Good.
I mean, in other words, you're going to turn this whole thing around. You just can't focus on one aspect. You talk about coalition.
Yep.
And that has to be a component of it.
100%.
So,
Agreed. But we have to make a world where coalitions actually work, right? And right now they don't. The new rules that they put up basically say you get two parties who are basically the same party, so you get one party, and that's what you get. So you get. And the sad part is once this passes in New York, it will follow other states.
So what's the possibility of ranking coming in?
Yes, ranked choice voting. For those who know what ranked choice voting is, a lot of people don't like ranked choice voting. It is an amazingly good idea for one important reason. It takes the spoiler effect away. What ranked choice voting means is you rank people on what you think they are. So say there are 4 people running. There's a party running. And you say, you know what? I like 3 of those guys, but one I don't like. I like 3 of them. One I don't like at all. All right. The one you like the most goes to the top. You like second, goes to second, third, you put third. Both of them you like at all, nothing. Don't deal with them at all. So you vote, of course, Libertarian first.
Yeah.
So Libertarians first. Then you put Republican second, Democrat third, hate the green guy. I like the green part. It's fine. Whatever. Hate the green guy. Fine. Whatever. You don't like the green guy. No worries. Those 3 get ranked. Now, if I win the election, life is good. I win the election. If I don't win, everyone who voted for me, now their second vote goes in. So then the vote for the Republican will go in. The Republican can't win, it goes to the Democrat. It goes to each one whoever can win. It goes down that road. What does that mean? You get both you get an offensive and a defensive vote. People tell me all the time, Larry, if I vote for you, the other guy wins. Well, if I don't win, your vote goes to the person you want anyway.
What are the chances of that actually being accomplished in the next state?
Already being done in New York City. We already have ranked choice voting.
Really?
Yep, already have it. Only Democrats get it.
Weird.
I'm not joking. It's in the primary.
I know where are we going.
Yes, it's in the
What are the
primary.
chances of it
Yes.
actually being fair?
It's in the primary. And so only Democrats get it, no one else does. When Democrats get it, it's it. So because they know it works. The reason why Democrats got it is because in New York City, Republicans have 0 chance of victory. They literally send out letters that say, switch. I'm not joking. It's true. They send out letters that say, switch your party affiliation to Democrat or you'll have no say in government. I'm not joking. That actually goes out in letters. We get letters. And it's true. It is true. So no one got mad at them. In fact, you remember in 2021, when we were running for mayor of New York, our then Governor Cuomo said, we're going to have an election here in June to decide who the mayor is. The election is in November. You remember that? That's what he said. Yes. What happens in June? The primary. He knows who wins the primary is the mayor. He said the quiet part out loud. He just said it, right? Doesn't matter, right? So they know that. So what did they do? They said, well, we're tired of the establishment always winning. So they made ranked choice voting for themselves because they know it worked. They knew it helps. So they gave it themselves. No one else gets it. Only they
So
get
what
it.
about the rest of the state? Our
Yes.
state reps
We are
working on it?
we are working on it. Is even to be forward, you guys may know I was also backed by Andrew Yang, the Forward Party. And why was I backed by Andrew Yang? Yang is not a libertarian, right?
No.
So why would he back me? Yes, but why? Because Yang knows that what I'm talking about is real. You have to create ranked choice voting. You have to make it easy to get on the ballot. But you've got to do these things. You have to have more parties, more options, more choices for coalitions. Even he knows that, right? And he's not a libertarian, but he said that too. I'm the only guy talking about it. No one else talking about that. No one's talking about actual reform. Think about can someone tell me what is Kathy Hochul's actual plan for education?
I don't think she can tell you.
I can tell you more money. That I can tell you more money. That's her whole plan. More money. How about the Republicans' plan? I can tell you.
Slightly less than Portland.
No, Kathy bad. That's his plan. His plan is Kathy bad. That's his plan.
For the last.
Correct. For the past 20 years, Democrat bad. That's been. Yes. No, but that's what he says.
What he's saying.
That's what he's saying.
Not saying anything.
All he says is Kathy bad, Hochul bad, Hochul's bad. We know, like no one's surprised. Democrats don't like Kathy. I get it.
Tell everybody else why we don't.
Yes, they all get it. What people aren't realizing is that we are so polarized. There's no middle ground here. We're so polarized. If you now are a Republican, what would it take for you to vote for a Democrat? If you're a Democrat, what would it take for you to vote for a Republican? Thank you.
Very much.
That's the issue. Everyone thinks that. So even though they don't
That's
like,
because I vote libertarian.
see, you're smart. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. That's the right answer, by the way, libertarian. And what you might not realize is I've run before. We've done polling. About 25% of people who support me are registered Democrats. No one else can say that. No one else can say that. Republican doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. No Democrats vote for him. He doesn't have that. I do. This is why the middle ground matters. This is why the person who's not on two sides matters. Because now we can cross the aisle. That we can cross the aisle and fix things. And that's the most important piece. So hope that made sense. Did I answer your question? Excellent. Any other questions or comments?
I got a question.
Please.
I still have my same.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
Where are we in New York with getting ranked vote? Are we getting there, or
Yes.
do you think it will be?
My gut tells me that we have to have it within about 4 years. I would bet right after the presidential election.
And
And why do I
how
say
would
that?
you get
Because-
elected without having that?
Let me come to both of those. First
Okay.
one, I think it'll come right after the presidential election because other states are taking it up. It's happening in other states. Maine has it. Alaska has it. A couple of states already have it. So what's going to happen? Mainstream media will start talking about it. And when that happens, that's going to make it more popular here. So my guess would be right after the 2024 election, 2025, 2026.
Okay.
My guess when we'll pick up ranked reporting here. It's I think Nebraska has areas that does it too. So states are grabbing it now. Is it Nevada or Utah? One Western state's looking at it. Nevada is. Nevada's picking up ranked choice voting also. Yes. It's on a ballot in Nevada now. So it's on the ballot in many states. It is happening all over. So my gut says 2026. That's your question.
Second part.
How do I win? All right, two things. So for me to win, number one, it is going to be very difficult for me to win this election. I thought it was going to be easier. I did. I definitely thought it was going to be easier. Getting on the ballot was far more difficult than I thought. And then the Conservative Party sued me and threw me off the ballot when I made it. So yes. So the
That's an old divorce between the conservatives and libertarians. They were
Yes.
together and they split 50
I
years ago.
my problem with that is the Conservative Party decided that it was better to not be conservative. And that's my problem. So it's now a parasite party, right? It's a parasite party now. It doesn't have any actual value anymore, right? And that's a problem. Am I right? Yeah, go ahead.
Is he right?
So,
Yeah,
yes,
look at
absolutely.
that. That's what-
So
that's what
yes,
Larry wants to do.
so it's become a parasite party is the problem, right? So that's an issue. So they actually sued me and threw me off the ballot. I am suing again, and I will have a court date coming up here probably the next couple of weeks. Hopefully win this appeal.
So the Conservative Party sued, got you off the ballot
Correct.
for Zeldin.
Yes. Correct. Well, Democrats didn't care. Democrats are like, oh, go ahead, do your thing.
This is New York.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
this is New York.
Go on with your bad self, Mr. Sharpe. Go ahead with your bad self. Yes, they didn't care. So yes, they didn't care. Only the Republicans didn't want me to come in second. If you guys remember in some of you who were paying attention 2018, I was bad news for them. Real bad news. If you remember, this is when it actually happened. It happened the last, 2 or 3 months in the campaign. The then candidate was out in Western New York, and one of the reporters said, "How are you going to do well in Western New York? This is Sharpe country." When that happened, all of a sudden, another $1 million came to Republican coffers, and all the attack ads against me came out. I was a Cuomo plant. I was against the Second Amendment. I hated cops. All those things came out, right? Some of you remember that.
Now that
All
would
those
get
things
you-
came out. I know, right? Now, do it now. Oh, yes, exactly. But no, but the funny part is, it didn't hurt because most of them didn't know who I was. The problem with Democrats, Republicans is they don't know how to actually campaign against me. All they do is yell at me because they yell at each other. Yelling at me helps me. It makes me actually more solid. Then people come to me and look at my website and go, "Oh, I like that guy." They see my Joe Rogan interview and go, oh, my Glenn Beck interview. They go, oh, I like that guy. Please call me names. If you ever notice when I'm on social media, I don't block anybody. People yell at me, call me names, and like engagement. If I'm doing one of my lives and people give me say bad stuff, I invite them on. I answer their horrible question because I want them to be back on. Engagement's all I care about. I'm happy if you yell at me. I don't mind. I get you the whole time. Please do it. No worries. So that's what happened. And after that happened, that didn't work. So what did they do? They bought a poll within 3 weeks at the end of the election. They bought a push poll. What a push poll is you call the people up and you give them a bunch of information and then ask a question. So I say, so did you know that Kathy Hochul wants to kill your child? Great. So would you rather vote for Kathy Hochul or Larry Sharpe? She wants to kill my child. I guess I'll vote for Larry Sharpe. That's a push poll, right? So they did one of those, and it looked like the Republican was getting closer. Then the post said, Republican gaining ground. Everybody who was ready to vote for me went, oh, my guy might win. I got to vote. I can't vote for you, Larry Sharpe.
They just did that with Terry Bernardo too.
Bingo. That is a tactic to use over time, which is why, if you notice, I've been polling since last year. So I'm now ahead of the game. So I poll between 5 and 7% across the state. So I've been polling. I learned my lesson from that. That devastated me. I was ready for everything else. I was not ready for that. When I hit me 3 weeks left, I didn't have enough money to do a poll. Polls cost $40,000 or more.
Let's change the subject. How do you get out of bed every morning? What I mean is when you deal with that, you say that destroyed you, and you carry yourself well. You come here and talk, speak to us. How do you get out of bed the next morning and say, I need to continue?
It is a great question.
Sometimes in business you don't have it to get out of bed in the morning, and these are just people you see every day that they don't vote for you. It doesn't matter what they think about you; it just matters what they spend business. So how? I don't understand how people have that inside of them too.
Well, to be forward, most don't.
No.
Right? No one else.
Right.
No one else is. Yeah. Everyone else who tried to run has already quit.
Right.
I'm the only one running. So most don't.
Right.
But to be forward, I've had my ass kicked in business before. And when you get your ass kicked in business, you realize that it's all about getting back up. Yep. So you keep getting back up. So maybe it's the Marine in me. I don't know that I just keep fighting to the end. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's the fact that I've had my 2008 crash devastated me. I had to shut my business down, fire my employees. It was devastating.
My grandparents worked
until
they were 89 because of 2000. They lost $86,000 in their retirement in 24 hours, and they worked until they were 80.
Yep. I was devastated. So I had to rebuild everything. So I guess getting your ass kicked makes you think differently about that. Then you got to get back up, right? I was devastated by that. Literally, I lost everything. So I had to rebuild everything. So I think that's part of it, maybe. But the other thing is, when I coach people, I will often ask an executive a certain question, and I'll say, if you can't do it, who can? And sometimes they'll say, well, Jane could do it, or Bob could do it. Great, let's get them together, let's fix it, let's get it going. Sometimes they'll say, no, only me. Then you're doing it then. Stop complaining. No one else can do it. You're doing it. In this state this year, no one else can. But there's literally no one else that can do it in this state. It's me or it's nobody. That's why I'm doing it. It's me or it's nobody. No one else can do it right now. That's not every year. But this year, in this state, it's me or nobody. So I'm doing it. I have to. I also don't want to leave the state. I'm selfish. I don't know if I told you guys why I began this in 2018 in the first place. I was going to leave New York. I was done. I was like, I'm out. This state's oppressive. So I was going to move to North Carolina, Charlotte. For what I do for a living, I have to have a big city around me, right? Big businesses, big cities around me. Charlotte's a big city, lots of big businesses. I thought, I'll be fine. I went down to Charlotte. I physically went down to Charlotte, looked around, and I realized this place is great. I can sell my shoebox of a house in Queens and buy a mansion and have less taxes, less everything. This is great. But instead of me leaving, I got angry. And I said, why does my state suck? That's what I thought. Why does my state suck? I have a beautiful state. I have a state that has everything you can imagine in the state. The biggest city in the country, mountains, lakes, rivers, falls, hunting, fishing, skiing, Yankees, Buffalo Bills, whatever's your thing, it's in this state. It doesn't matter what you want. It's in this state. Guaranteed. It's here.
I didn't move my company down.
You remember? Absolutely. 100%. I was too. And I got mad and I came back. And I said, you know what? I'm going to come back. I'm going to win the governorship. I'm going to fix this state. That's what I'm going to do. That did not go as planned. As you noted, that didn't go as planned. But the worst part is, why'd I go again? Because once I saw how it worked, I got angrier. Once I saw how bad it was. Once I would meet people, and these are Democrats who I would meet, who one Democrat actually, there was a mayor of a city. He said to me, he said, Larry, Cuomo is like when the henchman becomes the boss. So he told me. He was a Democrat. I expect Republicans to hate Cuomo, but Democrats hated him too. They hated him too. Yes, they hated him too. He really told me that. He said, he's like the henchman who became the boss. That's how bad it was. Then I found something else. People who are running, who sitting congressmen, I'm sitting assemblymen, they were aldermen, they hated their constituents. Hated them. Total disrespect for everyone who they had to support. Total disrespect. Hated them. Only complain about the people. Oh, they want this and they want that. They want this and they want. I thought, aren't you supposed to be on their side? Right? I mean, I was naive. I didn't look, I figured there'd be some sociopaths. I figured there would be just odds, right? I figured. But the amount that actually just did not even like the situation blew my mind. And I was mad. And I said, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna change it. That also did not go as planned. So as you can imagine, I'm still here. And I get up because I think no one else will do it. If I don't talk about it, it's not gonna work. So let me go back to your original question. I went way up topic, I apologize. Back to your original question. All your fault, I'm blaming you.
Okay.
Anyway, so yes. So I'm a good politician already, blaming someone else. Perfect. So perfect. So let me go back to your question. So it's gonna be very hard for me to win this thing. However, there are two ways I can win this. Two ways. Number one, if I get on the ballot. If our lawsuit works this time, I'll get in the ballot. If I'm on the ballot, I'll get in debates. Debates will be in October. If I get in debates, I can win this thing. How do I know this? I follow a model that's already won. That is Jesse Ventura of the 1990s. Jesse, he was the last independent governor who won. 1990s. How did he win? Amazing debate performance. Victory.
And in Minnesota.
In Minnesota, he won. Correct. Yes, absolutely. That is my model. If I get in debates, yes, absolutely. So I get in debates, that's how we win. I can go one of two ways. One, by being on the ballot, or two, by them bringing me on board. And they might, you never know. And why do I say that? There is no way, to be forward with you, I mean, there's any way that the Republican want me in debates. Democrat might.
So
So that would be the other
how
way.
it works for presidential.
Also,
elections, like,
also,
the big
She might.
Joe Jorgensen for this last election, despite they were on the ballot, but they still weren't allowed to participate
Correct.
in debates.
However, because there's a presidential commission when it comes to federal. Local, the League of Women Voters run it.
Okay.
And they've already told me I'm in.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm
That was
already
my
in.
question.
That's my point.
Right.
If I get in the ballot, I'm in. So I will be in if I get in the ballot.
Yep.
If both of them or one of them want me in, I'll be in. Because I'm the only one still running. Even though right now, officially, to your point, right now, I'm officially a writing campaign right now.
So
Officially, I'm a writing
had
campaign.
to bring you, yes.
I would agree. So
But she doesn't,
we're
so-
suing right now, and we hope we win this lawsuit. I just raised money for it for the lawyers, and I'll also be representing myself. I'll be pro-saying also, so I can speak to the judge myself. So I'll be doing that also. So hopefully we'll win this thing. I'm sorry?
Where's that going to be heard?
Albany. Yeah, it'll be in Albany. Yep. So we hope we win. But let's say I don't win. Let's say I can't get on the ballot. You have to do a write-in. Or if I get in the ballot and don't win. Let's do on the ballot, don't win, and then write-in. For me to win a write-in, governor, I mean, it's astronomical chance. Not going to happen. I mean, I guess it could. I mean, somebody wins the lottery. Maybe I'm that guy. Who knows? But the odds of me winning a write-in, winning the election are slim. But the odds of me getting 130,000 votes so I can have an actual independent party, very high. Very high. And when that happens, we can actually build out a party. Take people from all the other parties that have been ruined, put them together to make an actual independent party so we can actually create a coalition.
They're ready to leave.
Yes,
They're ready to leave.
We can actually
need
do
a
that.
place to go.
that can be
Right.
doable.
Yeah.
We can do that. So that would be a secondary win. That makes any sense. Which is one important thing. Those of you remember me last time, when we got ballot access and had a party in 2019, I crossed the state in 2019. We had 107 victories, libertarians, victories. I think 8 were just libertarian. The other 90-something were fusion. Libertarian Republican, Libertarian Conservative, even Libertarian Democrat. Particularly, believe it or not, out in Western New York, a bunch of Libertarian Democrats. Out in like Steuben County, Wyoming, a bunch of actually Libertarian Democrats. Crossover, right? That's the coalition I'm talking about. We do this, we create a coalition. We give them value, create a coalition to build a coalition against the establishment. Right now, you can't go against the establishment. There's nothing there for you. We create this, we create an establishment. So that's the other piece we do.
What
So-
do we do at a ground level?
I literally went around and
No, I mean, what do we do at a ground level to help you?
when someone locally is running and I say I'm coming to their event, you show up at the event. You call the local press and they show up.
Right.
And then you vote for that person because I'm out there yelling and screaming. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what we did. Right? The reality of it is most local people don't get much press. The governor candidate got lots of press last time. So when I went back again, I saw the same connections. I went back out, called the press, they showed up again, and now some local person actually gets press. Changes everything. Change the game. That's how you do it. The other piece is, if I get on the ballot, even if I come in second, imagine if I come in second. Yeah, I just come in second. What will happen? Right now, how the Board of Elections works is the top two parties run the Board of Elections. Well, the top two parties will be Democrat, Libertarian. Republicans won't be in. However, there's not enough libertarians to run. It's impossible. There's not enough of us. So then we write the rules, which I'm fine. We write the rules. But now they'll have to add third parties. New York State will go from a single party democracy to a multi-party democracy overnight. It's if I come in second. We get a multi-party democracy. No longer one party rule if I come in second. If the Republican comes in second, nothing changes. I come in second, we make change. So that's how we win even if I don't. Did that answer your question, Lee?
Yes.
Awesome. Excellent. Any other questions or comments?
One quick one.
Please.
So I love your idea of being free to the federal regs. How about the state regs? So I'm smaller than these guys. I'm a one-man trade.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to bring in kids to work with me, but
Yep.
you know, workman's comp,
I know.
medical insurance.
Yep.
So how
Yes.
can the real little guys help someone?
Now, they
100%.
tax you
And
for
I'm-
paying your employee a living wage.
Right. And
Like,
I'm
you want to pay
52.
your employee $20 an hour, you can tax.
There we
That
go.
That doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
You know,
Yes.
like they play the minimum wage game and tax you for paying your employee. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had a conversation with somebody on Facebook. They were in a landscaping company, and they're being taxed an additional like $500 to $800 a month by the state government because rather than pay their employees minimum wage,
Yeah.
they pay them a living wage. So
Yes.
they're taxed.
So they punish that.
Right,
It's
they're
correct.
literally punished for paying, you know, and
Correct.
it's basically saying like, oh, you're a small-time landscaping company. There's
Well,
no
that's
room
true,
for
the-
you in New York State.
That's what they're actually saying.
If you're
Thank you
a
very
big like
Yes.
business conglomerate, you've got all these employees, and you're bringing value to our tax rules.
It's a war against
Right,
the
yeah,
small
no, it really
independents,
is.
whether it's
100%.
farmers,
It really is.
contractors, whatever.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So the one thing we have to work when it comes to insurance, New York State is I believe, the only state still that has its own insurance board. Right. Every other state does. They use federal guidelines. So if you have a state insurance board, well, you've got to validate them somehow. So I guess we'll punish people and raise money. Let's make that a profit center too, right? And I think there's only 6 states, if I'm not mistaken, that force you to have workers' comp on both New York State is one of them, for both problems on the job and off, right? Why do we have to have on and off? Right? That should be a bonus that you decide to give your employee because you think it's going to help them to come aboard. But on the job makes sense. I get it. You're telling them what to do on the job. Off the job, so they decide to get in a skateboard and skateboard off a car, and you got to pay for that. Yes, that's how New York State works. Yes, you pay for that. Yes. So adjust that immediately. That's a really big deal. But I go someplace else. We should be helping a group of people who we're not helping. That is our felon population. Our felon population is in trouble. My mom was a felon. She's not. So I know what it's like when you're a felon and you can't get a job. What we should be doing is the people who hire felons, give people a second chance, are not big business.
My business card file here is
Yep.
full of felons.
Yes, thank you.
They're all convicted felons that
Yes.
own their own business because they have no other option.
Not
except
all
to
of
own
them.
their- Not all of them.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
Or so he
you know,
tells you. Or so he tells you.
literally have no other option
Yes.
except to, like, you know, and some of it is really petty.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Some of it is really like a victimless crime.
Absolutely.
That was like, you know,
Yes.
you did- and I'm not to get into that realm of it, but when they come out, they have no other option.
Correct.
They don't.
They
So
don't.
so
I have
why?
felons I've put in jail come to me because I'm a nice cop.
Yeah.
And that I give them references.
Absolutely.
I go
Yes.
to their future employer.
Are you a
and say,
parole officer also?
No.
Ah, okay. Yes. Well, no, but when we talk about law enforcement, I'll bring it real fast. I support corrections officers, parole officers, and cops. It's not just cops. Law enforcement is cops, but not just cops.
No.
And we often forget that. My father was a corrections officer at Rikers. So I still have that feeling of they also matter, right? Yes, they're all law enforcement. So let me go back to what you were saying though. when someone wants to hire a felon, if they hire a felon, they should pay no state payroll tax for 2 years. And if you hire enough felons, how big you are, you should be immune completely from payroll tax if you hire enough felons. Why? People say, well, Larry, they just hire like felons for 2 years and then fire them and hire new felons. Good. You're training my felon force. You're giving my felon force a resume. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Please do that. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
if I
Yes, absolutely. But more important, what people don't realize is there's a magic pill for felons. It's a magic pill that if someone who's a felon gets 5 years of work, I'm not making this number up. You can do it at your home if you want to. 5 years of work. Once they've worked for 5 years, the odds of them going to jail are less than someone who hasn't been to jail. 5 years of work is the magic pill. If we can get these people out of prison into 5 years of work, they're back in action. It's hard. And to be forward, some of them don't deserve it. That happens too. There's some bad guys out there who don't deserve it. And you can give them 5 years, they're still going back to jail. And I get it. You can't stop those guys. Some of them are that bad. But a lot of them aren't that bad. I would argue the vast majority aren't that bad. The vast majority made a mistake, learn a lesson, get them back in action. You agree too? Yes, the vast majority that way. Get them back in action, and we can do that by giving them work. Work is the critical aspect.
Just guidance in general.
Correct.
Maybe that's what they lack in general.
100%. You know what the prison's full of? Fatherless men.
Yep.
Filled with fatherless men. Filled.
Masculinity.
Absolutely. Filled with fatherless men. I completely agree. So we get them into working again, it will change the state. It will change the state if we can do that. So yes, I hope that answered your question. Was that your question?
Thank you.
Was your question? Yeah, there we go. Good. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You can clap now if you want to, so I can look cool. Thank you so much. All right, I'm still